Hello, everybody. This is Kyrix with another episode of This Week in Kyrix. This is for the week of Wednesday, May? Yes, May 27th, 2020. I kept wanting to say March. And it's being recorded on the 26th. This is the same time that I did the 20th. That happened just a couple minutes ago, actually. And we will be discussing all the good stuff that has happened to me this week. Mostly, I have started a new audiobook from Audible. The Jurassic Dead box set. I happened to notice that as an ad in Facebook. And Audible books are about the only ad you can give me that I will actually pay attention to. Occasionally video games, but generally speaking, if I'm somewhere and you pop an ad up, I will go out of my way to not get that product. So ads actually do not work with me. I take it personally for some stupid reason, especially if I'm at work listening to a YouTube video when I'm allowed, and I just have to stop ads all the time. I'm like, yeah, that's a product I'm never going to use. And I do have a gripe about Jurassic Dead. So far, it seems pretty cool. It's an unusual book. I'm quite not sure what the genre of it is, but it's fun. But it irks me that the person writing it doesn't understand dinosaurs. And it only irks me because I've been a dinosaur nerd since before I could read. So we're talking pre-kindergarten here. I'm obsessed with dinosaurs, and I knew words like Cretaceous and Jurassic and Mesozoic and all this shit. Because I used to have a bunch of dinosaur books that Grandma used to read for me. So I went into kindergarten with an absurd dinosaur vocabulary. Anyway, it's stupid shit like them referring to the Jurassic era 65 million years ago, like, oh, these are Jurassic things. Here's a Tyrannosaurus Rex. I'm like, no. I'm sorry, no. The T-Rex was Cretaceous. That was 65 million years ago. The Jurassic was like 270, and I think that's where the Dilophosaur comes from, and that's... They found something in the book called the Cryolophosaurus, or something like that, where it's basically a Dilophosaur native to Antarctica, which wasn't a wasteland at the time. It was, jungle and shit. But I told my friend, I'm like, I'm willing to let that nitpick go because it's a fucking dinosaur book. It's not important what era they come from. I mean, I didn't gripe about Jurassic Park not being called Cretaceous Park when 90% of the animals were Cretaceous. Because I'm sorry, if you name a dinosaur from Jurassic Park that was really cool, chances are it was Cretaceous. Unless you're that guy who really likes the Stegosaurus. And there's nothing wrong with that. I liked Stegosaurus. It wasn't in my top 5, but it's pretty cool. But I'm actually really excited about June's Audible book, because if you don't know, Audible.com, it's like $15 a month. Yes, I'm shilling for free. $15 a month, and you get a credit every month. And that's important, because the books are like $20 to $30 each. So, basically getting a free book, or getting a book for $15 is a pretty good deal. And, sometimes, like with Jurassic Dead, you get a box set, where it's like, oh, here's 4 books for 1 credit. Well, I found 2 books for 1 credit that I really want. And they are The Zombie Survival Guide and The Unabridged World War Z by Max Brooks. Now, I've checked out from the library the abridged version several times. Come to think of it, I don't think I've ever actually read the book. I've only ever experienced World War Z through an audiobook. And I don't know if I ever had access to the unabridged version or not. But yeah, those are both books that I really, really love. They're a lot of fun. Even though the Zombie Survival Guide is supposed to be a survival guide, it's not dry reading. It's actually very entertaining. And considering it's an entirely fictional situation, it's very informative, as it should be, I mean, if you were to drop into the zombie worlds of most zombie genres, most of these rules would work for you. Now, if you're in the Day of the Dead or the Dawn of the Dead remake where the zombies run, it's not going to help as much. If you're in the Return of the Living Dead series where the zombies are sentient and immortal, that's not going to help you. But other than that, you're pretty good. And that's definitely on my wish list. I also got a couple other books. One was a Minecraft book. I don't particularly care about the Minecraft books in general. I didn't even know they had them. But this is an audiobook written by Max Brooks and narrated by Jack Black, and I'm kind of intrigued. You know? I kind of got to have that in my life. And there's another one, I don't remember what it's called. It's something like A Different Kind of Hero. And it's read by Amberly Connors? Or Connolly? Something like that. I think she's a voice actress that I've seen. I think it's... I'll look it up, but I think it's a voice actress I'm aware of. I think she's in TFS, but I don't know. I might be confusing her for someone else. But either way, the book itself looks interesting, so why not? I've been playing a lot of XCOM 2 lately. I don't know. Every now and then, you just get a bug up your ass about a game and you just binge the shit out of it. And this time it's XCOM. I've been trying to get a hold of Reaper because I want him to come over. Yes, I know social distancing, but it's not like he hasn't come to pick me up a couple times anyway, and it's not like we're going to have a group of 10 people. So, plus, I'm pretty sure we've both already had coronavirus, so it's not like we're at risk of spreading it to each other. But I want him to try and come over and record War of the Chosen as an actual Let's Play that he's doing, where I'm just there to provide commentary and assistance. And I think that would be a lot of fun. I really do. Where all the decisions would be his, and I would basically be there for moral support and whatnot. And that actually kind of takes precedence for me over A Way Out, which is a game I got specifically to record with him. But I have some really good news. I actually have space on my phone now, because I had a couple issues with space on my phone, and the space problem is entirely due to Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. It's a game that was one of the first games I ever got on the phone. It's something that has been on every iteration of my phone, even though I don't really play it seriously. Like, I'll stop in every now and then and do a thing, or I'll collect my Dragon Stones, do summons, and then not touch the game for 3 fucking days. So it's not something I'm seriously invested in anymore, but I still play it. And I was trying to find out if there was a way to get it for the computer, and people kept recommending Android emulators, basically a thing for the phone, and I finally broke down and downloaded one and got that, as well as all the other games I used to have on my phone that I didn't have space for anymore. So that freed up an absurd amount of my phone space, and I do mean absurd, as in Dokkan Battle literally took up half my fucking space. I went from having, like, 1% space left to having 54% space left just deleting Dokkan Battle. So, yeah, and the reason for that, in case you're wondering, isn't that the game is huge, although it is. It's because the game will not split onto an SD card. Most of my games, most of my programs, period, could be partially put on an external SD card where it would take up less space on the phone itself, so you could hold a lot more shit. Well, Dokkan Battle wasn't one of those, so, yeah. So, yay me, I have access to all my old phone games. And this is one case where I don't consider it bad to use emulation. I don't even think it's illegal. It's basically letting my computer do something my phone can do that is only limited by hard drive space. You know? I mean, these are programs that are free to download, so I already owned them at one point. They're technically still in my library. I could have them at any point that I want. They're still my save files, you know, so why the fuck not? And, yeah. My constant hatred of the Star Wars fan base has gotten a little stronger, because people are releasing things. I don't think they're releasing them now. I think I'm just now getting wind of them, of stuff like, oh, this thing from Rise of Skywalker, this is garbage. I'm thinking, bitch, you didn't watch the movies. Because I'm going through the comments section and seeing all these people raise shit, and I'm like, yeah, did you watch the fucking movie? Because the movies contradict everything you said, and I'm not even talking about the sequel trilogy, you know? people talking about just like, oh, well, I don't even know. They were complaining about the name Exegol. I'm like, how is that any weirder than any of the planets in the original trilogy? Exegol, Dagobah, Alderaan, Yavin, Endor, Hoth, Dantooine. I mean, fuck, Tatooine and Dantooine. That sounds... If I didn't know any better, I'd swear she made Dantooine up. You know? But, really? You're gonna say Exegol doesn't fit in that list? If you didn't know shit about Star Wars, and I were to name those planets, Exegol would not be the one that jumped out at you as one that didn't belong in the list. If anything, I would think Tatooine would be the one that jumped out as one that didn't belong. Because it would sound a lot like Dantooine, and it would have tattoo in the name, and you'd think it was something a parody. That's something I always thought as a kid. That was a weird name for a planet. But, yeah. And they're talking about, like, oh, how did Rey beat Kylo Ren? Her absurd bloodline. I'm like, her absurd bloodline doesn't even fit into this shit. It's like, okay, let's see. Anakin was a slave. He was raised to tinker with machines and occasionally get in a pod race. He had no combat experience. Luke was a sheltered farm boy. Granted, he lived in one of the harshest environments imaginable, but he was acclimated to it. And he had no combat experience other than going out hunting womp rats, either with his hunting rifle or a fucking airship. Meanwhile, Rey lived in a desert hellhole with no support structure, who literally had to fight for everything. It's like, oh, there's that girl with a machine that'll get us 5 portions. Let's beat her up and take it. If she wants to eat that night, she has to not get beaten up. This was her life. For like 20 years. I'm sorry, if you have to spend 20 years beating the shit out of people, you get good at it. And they're ignoring the fact that A, Kylo was in emotional and mental turmoil over killing his dad, because I'm sorry, even if you're totally a bad guy, that shit's gonna run through your head for a while. You know? I don't care if you're the most evil person imaginable, you're going to ruminate on that a little bit. You know? Even if it's just to gloat, you're gonna think about it. I mean, if you look at the old Darth Plagueis book, fucking Sidious had a little monologue after he killed his master, and that was something he'd been looking forward to. And the only thing that ruined it was the news that he got an hour later that Darth Maul died, you know? But they're also forgetting the fact that Chewie just shot the fuck out of him. Never mind the fact that he is literally the first humanoid thing to get shot with that bowcaster and not die instantly. And then he fought with Finn, and then he fought Rey. So yeah, he wasn't exactly in his right state of mind. If you watch him in Rise of Skywalker, he's winning that fight. Even after Rey's training, he's winning pretty handily until Leia steps in. So yeah. Let's go back to good things. Are you okay, Loey? Yeah, good things. All the pets are fed. Oh shit, I forgot to talk about the vet thing. In my annoyances video, I forgot to mention that in going broke on the Uber thing, I didn't have the money to take an Uber Pets down to get the girls dropped off at the vet like I was going to, so they had to reschedule it for 2 weeks from now. So, yeah. On the plus side, I am getting a small bonus, like $50 less than I thought I was getting for the month. And next month should be a good bonus because we're getting our actual monthly bonus that we've been getting, as well as our real quarterly bonus. And given that I really won't have points by the time that comes up, yeah, it's going to be a good one. Or it should be a good one. And anyway, it's free money, and by that point I won't owe the roommate any extra cash. I'm in the process of trying to save up money so that when July rolls around, Betsy's extractions can be taken care of. It's been announced that SeaWorld, specifically SeaWorld, though I imagine at least Busch Gardens, if not also the water parks, are looking to reopen mid-June, which is good for me because I happen to have the third Saturday of June off and could go if I'm so inclined. And every single Saturday in July is off as well. And if the water parks are open, we're going to the fucking water parks. And my roommate brought up, like, oh, they won't be at capacity. I'm like, I don't care. Because I don't think you understand. We get there an hour before the parking lot opens. We are, like, the second person in line at worst. When we get there, there are maybe 4 cars plus us. And that's a busy day. I think the worst we ever got was we were the third car in a line. You know? And that was the first time we went to Adventure Island before we all got our passes. So, yeah. Even if... Because he had mentioned something about a local zoo only allowing 20 people. I'm like, even if it's that bad, even if they only allow 20 people, we're still going to be one of those 20. You know? Because we get there early. Like, we leave here at 5 o'clock. It takes an hour to get there. We're getting there at like 8 o'clock and the park opens at 10 kind of a thing. You know? So we will literally sit in that parking lot for 2 fucking hours waiting the park to open. So I'm not concerned about that. But I cannot express enough how quickly I will go swimming. You know, if Adventure Island or Aquatica are open on that day, I'm calling my friends and we're going. We're going to go swimming. Period. You know? Because I have been trying to go since January. That's January, February, March, April, May. It'll be June by the time. That is 6 months. That is 6 months of trying to get to a place every month and failing. So, yeah, wish me luck that they open those parks up. And, yeah. I'm gonna try... Emphasis on try. Wow, where did I lose a whole fucking hour? It was like 10 last time I looked at the clock. It's midnight now. It's tomorrow. It's actually the day I'm recording for. I'm gonna try and do some recordings, some Breath of Fire, some Bee Simulator, maybe finish Blaster Master, do some stuff on the PlayStation. Mostly recreational, maybe some Resident Evil. And, yeah. Oh, on the bright side, Star Trek Online has had an event going on. Part of a 3-month event, the first month of a 3-month event. I say month, but let's call it tier, the first tier of a 3-tier event. And I just finished it yesterday, actually. You have to do these 2 scenarios, a Pavo ground mission and a Pavo space mission, which is, except for one time, I did the space mission every time, because I wasn't paying attention and didn't realize the ground mission was a ground mission. And Pavo is a world from Discovery. If you haven't seen it, don't worry about it, it's not important. Basically, it involves blowing up a bunch of ships and trying not to get things of your own blown up. Simple shit. Couldn't be easier. It's really not even all that complex, you know, it basically... I don't think it's possible to lose unless you're trying to. Let me put it that way. So, but yeah, I did that, and the first prize, kind of weird, not gonna lie. It's this weird little droid that follows you around. I don't know what it does, and I didn't even need to turn it on. As soon as I equipped it, it just follows me now. It's kind of creepy, actually. Because normally that's something you have to activate for it to do things. But no, it just lives on my back now. And I say my back, it floats about 3 feet behind me, but you get the idea. I don't know if it's defensive, I don't know if it's offensive, I don't know if it's cosmetic, but it's there, and I have it, and I don't necessarily care, but, you know. What I do care about is the grand prize, which is a biggie. It is one of 2 things. One is a free Tier 6 ship of your choice from the Z Store. I don't know that I'll actually do that. I mean, Tier 6 ships are pretty cool, but I have a lot of them, and I don't use most of them, and the ones that I do want to use, I pretty much have already. And the ones I don't have are parts of sets, like the Klingon Bortos cruiser, etc. But generally, if there's a Tier 6 ship that I want to use, I already have it. So I don't know that I'll do that. But the other thing is, it's either 1,000 or 10,000 Lobi crystals. I think it might actually be 10. But basically, a buttload of Lobi crystals, which are a very special premium currency that you can only get via certain packs. You can get them from lockboxes, you can get them from special packs. And they are their own currency that do their own thing. And they range from cosmetic to items to actual ships. And I actually used quite a few Lobi crystals because I wanted to play a Ferengi character, because I managed to get... I don't know what it was. I got a bug up my ass that I wanted a Ferengi Decora Marauder. I don't know why. Because the Decora is not an impressive ship, and this is before I got on my attack wing Ferengi kick. I think it was entirely because the Marauder on its bridge has access to the bank and the exchange and all those other fun things. And, well, I did something. I think I had some Zen left over, Zen being the standard premium currency. That, but let's call it shop coins. The shop coins, I sold a couple for Dilithium, which is the sub-premium currency. It's the highest form of in-game non-premium currency. Because, okay, we're gonna break this down. You got the basics, energy credits, everything. Everybody gets energy credits. You get them incidentally. You get them from selling shit, etc. You're gonna have energy credits from missions. Basically speaking, unless you're trying to get something expensive, you've probably got the energy credits for it. Energy credits are the most basic. Latinum is another kind of currency, which you get two ways. You either, well, really one way, you get them from gambling. And you gamble with either energy credits or more Latinum. So... the funny thing about Latinum is the only thing Latinum seems to be good at is getting more Latinum. So it is the thing from Garfield, the self-changing, or the battery-operating battery changer that's only good for changing its own batteries. You know, there are a couple cosmetic things that you can get with Latinum, but I don't bother with such things usually, so it's kind of pointless to me. It's really just kind of a thing to have to show that, hey, I've got a lot of Latinum, you know. And the Ferengi Marauder actually has a Dabo table, which is where you get Latinum, on board. So if you've got anything like, oh, earn this many Dabo, or earn this many Latinum playing Dabo, it's like, bitch, let me go to my bridge, you know? And, but I just wanted to play a Ferengi, and specifically a Ferengi engineer, and get him up to Admiral level so I could play with the Marauder. Sold some Zen to get enough credits to get the Marauder. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So we have energy credits, we have Latinum. Next is Dilithium. Dilithium crystals are fairly abundant, actually. Maya, get down. Quit. If she's just going to hurt you, get down. But anyway, Dilithium crystals are fairly common. You get them for all sorts of missions. You get them for certain items, so on and so forth. The trick with them is there's ore and there's refined. Like, looking at my character right now, because I pulled it up, I have 192,866 dilithium ore. I have 26,270 refined dilithium, and 25,000 for fleet vouchers. So if I were in a fleet, that's 25,000 dilithium. The thing is, only refined dilithium is worth a damn. And you can only refine up to 8,000 a day per character. So basically, you're limited in how much dilithium you can pull at any given time. And dilithium's actually useful for a lot of things, like a lot of reputation stuff, a lot of special items. And now you can buy premium ships with it, at least from tiers 1 through 4. So that's cool. And I have a lot of dilithium ore, but I also have the perk, not a perk, Since I am a lifetime member, that's something I got with my stimulus. Since I have lifetime membership, I will automatically refine a certain amount per day on each character, so if for whatever reason I have a fuckload of stuff on this character, D'Amato, and I just don't play him for like 3 weeks, I'll come back and all those dilithium would have been refined for the days that I missed. So let's take a look at this thing here. I'm just looking at this module since I got it pulled up. Got the Universal Kit module, the KID drone, KIDD. Passive, deploy a KID drone to assist, 30-second recharge. I can separate it into 3 different drones for 30 seconds. A tactical, which shoots. Science, which does shit to shields. And an engineer that deploys mines. That's kind of useful. It's not bad. It's not great. It's not bad. And yeah, I'm just looking at stuff in the Zen store. There's not a whole lot in the way of tier 6 shit that I really want. I mean, there's a couple things that I could have that look kind of nice, but my god, I'm looking through this and I have so many tier 6 ships just from shit that I've earned and packs that I've gotten. Like, I got the Legendary pack, I got the Dominion War pack, I got the fucking Scimitar pack, so that's like 12 ships right there. But yeah, I'm sure there's something in here that I could want, but then again, you gotta figure with these are like $30. I mean, don't get me wrong, $30 is not small, but, let's see. But still, it's not as big as it could be. Now, okay, so here's how it works. When I complete this thing, there is the tier 6 ship with 200 low-buy crystals, or just a bundle of 1,000. Ooh, this is a 4 event. Okay. So anyway, going back to the currency thing, because I keep stepping away. We got energy credits, we got gold press platinum, we got dilithium. Low-buy crystals are the first of the, we'll call it a sub-premium currency, because again, you don't actually buy them, but you have to buy the things that get them. Like, you get them out of lock boxes, which require you to buy keys, or you get them out of special packs, which require money. And low-buy crystals, again, there's a lot of neat shit you could buy with them, but it's mostly fluff. I mean, there's some weapons, there's some kits, etc. And then lastly, you've got Zen. So, that's the thing. But yeah, I just gotta bug up my ass. Like, oh, I want a Ferengi ship, and I want a Ferengi shuttle, and I want to have a Ferengi plasma whip, and I want the Ferengi weapon set, etc., etc. So I got... I got the 2 million or whatever energy credits, went on the exchange, bought a Decora, got it for my guy, unpacked it. Because he's the one using the low-buy crystals, he's the one who opens the packs, and wouldn't you know it, I got another fucking lockbox pack where I could get another Decora if I wanted it. I'm thinking, really, dude? And then I lucked out when opening Phoenix prize packs. I got an Epic token, which would get me one of the Epic Tier 6 ships, so I got the Ferengi Nandi class Marauder, which is the one I was missing. So, you know, there's some fun shit in here. But I've rambled enough about Star Trek, and I guarantee I've lost the original thread. So I'm going to sign off, and I will see you next week, hopefully on time. Bye-bye, everybody.